Happy New Year, listeners. I am the mighty Master Voluminous, teacher, commentator, and most importantly to you, storyteller. Congratulations to those of you who survived to this point. Let us make the upcoming year a good one. First off, some announcements. To increase the availability of the podcast, I'm going to be uploading this and all upcoming episodes to my YouTube channel, Master Voluminous. I'll also be bringing past episodes to the channel as well, so be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. You can also follow the Voluminous Talks podcast on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, Google, and a whole host of others. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and Amazon. Links to all of these will be in the description. We begin the new year by finishing the action comedy novella Rufus The Clown by Gift C. and Yadike Jr., available on Amazon. It has been quite a while, my acolytes, so I will recap. Rufus the Clown is a clown-themed superhero with cartoonish powers going around and doing good deeds, oblivious to the fact that a lot of people are terrified of him. In the first chapter, Rufus put a burning building out by blowing it like a birthday candle. In the second, he stopped a liquor store heist by inflating the tires of the getaway car. In the third, he stopped a purse snatcher by tripping him up with some water. In the fourth chapter, he chases off some graffiti artists after cleaning up their work with a handheld vacuum cleaner that he painted to the wall. In the fifth chapter, Rufus blew a party horn to expose a cat burglar after trapping her inside the penthouse she intended to rob. And in the sixth chapter, he stopped a shootout between two rival gangs by throwing water balloons at them, washing away their bullets and leaving them without ammo. These little summaries do not do these chapters justice, and I do recommend listening to the episodes or buying the book. Today, we will be reading the final two chapters. Enjoy. Chapter 7. Labor Party. Two male nurses hang out outside a hospital. They are both smoking and chatting. One of them notices a hot air balloon in the distance, but thinks little of it. They continue their discussion, unaware that the balloon is getting closer and closer. Eventually, it becomes obvious that it is going to land in front of their hospital. The nurses notice just as they are about to go back inside. The balloon's basket touches down on the pavement. The door opens and Rufus runs out with a young black woman with curly hair in his arms. Her stomach is bulging and her breathing is heavy. "This woman is about to give birth," he says. One of the nurses runs inside to get help while the other instructs Rufus to take her inside. The woman is placed on a stretcher as soon as they enter the hospital and is taken to an emergency room. The doctor asks him about the woman. "Her name is Hannah Juera. She doesn't have a husband or family in the city, doctor. She was walking home from the grocery store." "I see," the doctor says. "I'll stay, if that's all right." "If she has no next of kin that we can contact, then I suppose so." He goes to sit in the waiting room, attracting a few stares and gasps. He is so worried about Hannah that he does not notice. He sits there for an hour, his leg fidgeting, fingers clasped together, frowning deeply. An hour passes and he paces back and forth. Then 2, then 4, then 8. He sees the doctor waving him over. "She wants to see you," he says. Rufus follows him to the room where Hannah is. She is holding a beautiful baby boy in her arms. She looks up and smiles at the clown. "I wanted you to meet him," she says, "and to thank you." She lets him hold the baby. Have you decided on a name yet? Chapter 8. Coulrophobia. The sun has risen. He walks down the street of a quiet neighborhood with a pep in his step. The night had been good to him. I wonder what else I can do. He sees a girl playing with her ball on the other side of the street. The ball gets away from her and she chases it into the street. A car comes into view. The girl freezes in terror as it nearly runs her over, but is pulled out of the way by Rufus, who extended his arm in order to reach her. He also manages to get her ball with his other arm. You should be more careful, young lady. The road is a very dangerous place, he says, as he hands her ball. The girl stares at him and screams. Shocked, he tries to reassure her. What's wrong? He steps closer and she backs away, screaming and crying even louder, drawing the attention of the neighbors inside their homes.
Grace?
A woman, presumably the girl's mother, calls from inside a house across the street. She comes out and calls again.
Grace?
Other people start coming out of their houses to see what is bothering the girl. Hey, you! One man yells. Get away from her! No, you misunderstood.
Get away from my daughter, you pervert!
The girl's mother yells, running towards them. Pervert? He backs away. Such an ugly word penetrates him like an arrow to the heart. No, I wasn't.
I'm calling the cops!
Another woman yells. She isn't the only one. But please, I was just trying to.
Back off!
The woman says, getting between him and the girl. She was... Sirens are heard in the distance, and he makes a run for it, looking to avoid a confrontation. He keeps running until he is out of the neighborhood completely. He finds an alleyway to duck into and hides there. Sinking to the ground, the impact of the event that just transpired hits him. The look of horror on that little girl's face is burned into his mind. She was afraid of him, and those people thought he was going to do something bad to her. Why? What could have frightened her so? A puddle by a dumpster catches his eye and he sees himself. Maybe I should call it a day. He gets up, and with slumped shoulders, he slowly walks back to his home, taking care to avoid being seen. Well, he had to find out somehow. It is a shame how misunderstandings can form and how they can escalate a minor inconvenience to a full-scale catastrophe. I can't blame the mother and the neighbors for reacting the way they did. There are a lot of weirdos in clown costumes going around. And as I said when we first delved into this story, clowns are the spawn of Satan, and no one will convince me otherwise. Okay. All except for this one. He seems to genuinely want to do good. And he did. So I hope this little incident doesn't discourage him from fighting the good fight, as they say. If for nothing else but the entertainment value. Well, that's all the time we have. Goodbye, listeners. And once again, Happy New Year.